morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're all very welcome to Roadshare Flight or A401 to London Heathrow. Before our departure, may we have your attention while cabin crew put out safety features aboard this Airbus A320. To fasten your seatbelts, insert the metal end into the buckle, as cabin crew are now demonstrating. To secure seatbelts, pull on the loose end of the strap. To open and lift the buckle cover, which should be faced away from you. In the event of loss of cabin pressure, oxygen masks like these will fall automatically from the...
Please keep moving. Please keep moving. Do not stop.
Por favor, siga hacia adelante. No pare.
It's been about a week or so that we haven't had the Ferrari 458, and I told you guys that it was delivered up to Sacramento, where it's gonna be going on the frame shop, welding on the front end. Well, today, Calvin and I flew up to Sacramento. We're here for about 6.5 hours. We're gonna be finding the Ferrari, seeing it, and we're gonna try and make a couple videos while we're here because we leave for Tokyo literally tomorrow. So I do not know the current state of the car. From my understanding, they've been making a lot of progress on it, and I told you guys it would take about 2 weeks or so, and I think we're actually ahead of schedule, so that's always good news. How's it going?
Not too bad. It's kind of tall.
Oh, it's all good. Sweet as, bro. We've come a long way for this. So our first stop of the day is by our friends, Exotic Auto Recycling. This is actually where we're sourcing a lot of the parts for the Ferrari, but they're gonna give us a ride to the frame shop, which I think is another 40 minutes somewhere. I have no idea where. Someone say Italia?
How are you, lady?
All right, so we just made our way to the frame shop where the Ferrari is getting done. There's some good progress on it, so I'm excited to share it with you.
It's looking good. It looks like a car.
It's time to see our baby girl.
She's doing all right. She's in good hands by just a beautiful Russian man.
Yeah, I don't know his name, but he's a beautiful Russian man.
Or Ukrainian.
The other side is kind of damaged on my car in the shop, but if it's there, then I'll...
These are the front rails that have been welded onto the car. It's on the frame machine, so everything is going on perfectly straight, but it's kind of crazy. You can kind of see how much more the car actually has to go. These are our front rails that I've been telling you guys so much about, so that will be, I think it goes... It's like the front skeleton that kind of holds in the radiator, all the cooling, all the plumbing. The front fender rails will kind of sit on the arch right here. It's crazy to see how much it comes together. So this was pretty much majority of the work of the car to get these both these front rails on. And as you can see, the whole front subframe here was ripped off, and now we have a new lower control arm that's here. So this is the front right of the subframe where the lower control arm was completely detached from the side of the car. And now what we got really lucky that it was just that, because if it was anything more to the left, it would have had to replace this whole entire side piece, which would have been really expensive. And now that we're just able to fix the front piece right here, put the new low control arm on, well, on these front beams, and the whole front right caster is actually savable. From what's going on from this point, the fender arches need to be put on, these skeleton sides need to be put on. They actually did discover that the front right rotor is kind of screwed up, like it doesn't spin like it should, meaning that it's when it spins, it kind of wobbles and kind of stops. Whether it's just that the hat is bent or that the rotor is actually screwed up, we're not sure, but if you replace this rotor, we're gonna have to place the other rotor. There's no way to check it now. You actually measure out this rotor on a scale, and if it doesn't weigh a certain amount, that's how you know like the rotor has been used up and you need to replace them. So the rotors are gonna be expensive to replace. I think for a full rotor kit on the car, it's close to 35 grand, but we would just need to do the front. So if we just replace the fronts, we could potentially buy used rotors for 2 grand each, but hopefully we'll get lucky and it's just the bent hat, and if it's just the bent hats, then we can actually save some money and just pick up some new rotors. They haven't gotten to the fenders yet, but the fenders are in fact savable. This is something we were looking at. All this stuff, this is actually the good side. The right side can be hammered out, and the left side bend can be popped out as well. So we're actually saving ourselves about 5 grand on reusing our fenders and fixing them up, which is a huge plus. This is our new hood that we're gonna be using. painting. These actually go for around close to like 2 grand, so we're gonna need to get that repainted. And like I mentioned earlier, good thing we saved all the bits off the underneath because it comes with nothing. So good on us for saving the underside pieces of that hood. We scored ourselves a new bumper, and we're lucky because this is one that has the sensors, because this car was optioned with the parking sensors and all that stuff. So finding one of these was definitely a good find. These are not our headlights, but we're using these headlights to mock up pretty much like this whole skeletal surface of the car, just so we know that everything's straight. Pretty much just using these for testing, so they know that when they weld everything on, that everything is sitting just straight, because one small mistake here will waterfall all the way down the car. And if you have one little small mistake up towards the main source, that waterfalls and everything kind of gets twisted and doesn't sit quite right. So this is pretty much the most important job of the whole entire build, and seeing this kind of come to life kind of doesn't make it seem so far away. This is the fender frame rail support that goes into the front lower bucket, which connects to the front rails and the crash bar. That's awesome. That's so cool. Thank you. And one thing that I was literally just thinking about when we were driving here is that, as you guys saw, the wiring harness, we're missing quite a bit of connections and leads and stuff from it. So hopefully we don't need to source a new wiring harness or chop up a new wiring harness. Hopefully we can kind of just replace some of the plugs, but we won't quite know that until we start laying everything out, because it's kind of hardest to find what's wrong with it as it's pushed up on the inside of the car. Another thing that they found is, you can see this one line right here is bent. When they actually towed this car, they towed it from this, it's like the steering rack. They bent a connection piece right here that we actually had to replace, but that's why some of that stuff was all bent when we got it. That bent part didn't really match what happened to the car, what it looked like. So that got bent as well, so we need to replace that. Our interior pieces have been pulled and are on their way to get fixed up. As you can see, our passenger airbag has been removed. The whole right door panel has been removed. The steering wheel still needs to get fixed, but that's not that big of a deal. And I have found a source for getting the center console fixed up, so we can get rid of that ugly gash hole on the side of the car. While we're up here at Sacramento and seeing the Ferrari the way it is right now, it's absolutely crazy. But seeing the car in its current state and seeing how far we need to get it back to where it needs to be, there's a lot of work and there's a lot of protected value in that. So that's why when I get back to San Diego, I'm going to be installing the ThinkWare F800 Pro dash cam. This dash cam is not only awesome because it allows you to record while you're driving, but it also has a parking feature that when you're parked, it has motion sensors. So if anybody walks by your car while you're not there, the car's not even on, it should capture what's going on in front of you, and it gives you that extra eye. And if you ever get in a crazy accident like this, you can have it on camera and you can tell all your friends about it, which is pretty cool. So for that reason, I'm going to be installing this when we get back home. So huge shout out to ThinkWare. I'm going to link them down below in the description. So if you're looking for a dash cam or you want to be covered while you're driving, be sure to check them out. Everything will be linked down below.
What I think precision shit is out of my realm of knowledge, and I commend this man for doing beautiful work.
So once it gets back done from here, I think they have a couple more days to finish this up. Then it's gonna go back to the auto wrecking yard, where they're gonna gather all the pieces that we got for this car. And at that point, we're gonna take it home. We're gonna get ready for paint, because we should have our fenders, we'll have the hood, we'll have the front bumper, we're gonna have the skeleton on. So we're gonna put all that on, and then we can paint all this. So we can get this white, so we can paint the front bumper, so we can paint the hood and the fenders. And once it gets back from paint, we have all the parts, we're gonna have the new brakes, we're gonna have the wheels, then it's literally just putting it all back together. So I know a lot of you guys are like, there's no way you're gonna get this thing done in 2 weeks. Well, they're literally gonna have this thing back at the shop in less than 2 weeks. That's how fast and speedy they were, and the quality is pretty awesome. So that being said, big piece of mind coming up to Sacramento. I'm super stoked on that. Now it's time to make our journey home, because we have to get ready to go to Tokyo.
Lost in Sacramento, baby.
So we somehow found ourselves, after checking out the Ferrari, in downtown Sacramento. Now boys, it's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Our flight doesn't leave till 8 o'clock at night. That's a 5-hour time span that we have no idea what the fuck to do. There's a local Mexican restaurant we're gonna go peep out, and we don't know what there is to do in Sacramento. Kind of a crappy day out, and there's not much out here, so I don't really know what the whole getup is at the moment, but we're just gonna eat some food, and then hell, I'll probably just edit some videos and go to the airport early and get a little ahead of schedule. But there was a car page on Instagram that posted that they heard that we were in Sacramento, and there was like 50 comments, everyone tagging me to go to a meet tonight. The meet's at 8:30 and our flight leaves at 8. So I know a lot of you are gonna be like, why didn't you do anything in Sacramento?
Nah.
Looks like we're not gonna see any of the car scene here. I heard it was pretty massive from a lot of you guys, and I can actually just tell around here there's a pretty big car scene here. So unfortunately, we're not gonna catch that. I'm sorry, but hopefully next time I'm here, we can be a little bit more organized and plan something.
I feel like I'm missing so many things.
Traveling without a suitcase, it's a very weird thing. It just doesn't feel right.
And it feels weird that we're leaving like now as well. I don't know about you, TJ, I'm not feeling good right now.
Yeah, I feel like we're missing shit. I feel all out of whack. We've only been here for a couple hours and we're already leaving. It just doesn't feel right. We're here 3 hours before our flight leaves. We're gonna see if there's any earlier flights we can take home. RIP, we just missed the next flight, so we gonna wait the next couple hours. I'll probably edit and get ahead. Sacramento, all I can say is you've been very interesting.
Super interesting. Weird event after weird event.
I forgot my SD card reader, which means I don't have it, which means I can't start editing, which means for the next 3 hours I had nothing to do. This vlog is just really turning into quite the travel vlog. So I think for the next couple hours, probably watch a couple Game of Thrones episodes. I'm in season 6 right now, episode 1. And I started season 1 maybe 3 weeks ago. Quite the trooper at the moment, and I don't want to bore you guys with me just watching Game of Thrones, so I'll update you if anything spectacular happens in the next 3.5 hours. If not, I'll see you guys on the plane.
While cabin crew point out the safety features aboard this Airbus A320. To fasten your seatbelt, insert the metal end into the buckle, as cabin crew are now demonstrating. To secure seatbelt, pull on the loose end of the strap. To open, lift the buckle.
Shake. Other paw. Other paw.
So I know today's video was a little bit short, but it was quite the long day. There's another video that you guys will see probably tomorrow or so that is associated with today. I'm expecting to have the Ferrari back in our hands once we get back from Tokyo. In about a week or so, we'll get it, do a little bit more assembly, and then we'll be sending the car off to paint, and then it's just assembling all the interior pieces, which we should be having come in the next week or so. And this is a really bold goal, but I think by the absolute latest, we'll have the Ferrari.
By Valentine's Day.
Yeah, actually.
For me.
I was literally gonna say, I think we'll have it latest on the road by Valentine's Day.
So you can take me on a date in the
So we might even have it like by early February.
Nice, Blue.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. It's been a super long day and I'm absolutely dead. I will see you tomorrow. Peace out and keep moving forward.
And I'm feeling good.